This video is presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika. Get ready to smile.
Hello, baseball fans. You're watching On Deck with Tyler Redmond.
Well, hey, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. Really do appreciate it. I want to get on here as we are nearing the tail end of July and getting close to the trade deadline, and I want to talk about where the Braves are at, what you can expect on July 31st, maybe sooner, and just what I think may or may not happen this week. Because, as you know, this season has not gone as planned for Atlanta. They are 15 games back of the division. They are 14 and a half games back of second place. They are 5 games back of third place. In fact, they are closer to last place in the division as they are third place. So the Braves really are not in a good spot. And we can all talk about the reasons that is, the offense not living up to expectation, the pitching staff injuries, which I think is really the main reason for all of this. And you could argue the fact that we didn't make a lot of offseason moves, but really it's the pitching staff. Chris Sale going down didn't help. Spencer Schwellenbach goes down for the season. A.J. Smith-Shawver goes down for the season. Reynaldo Lopez has been out for substantial time this year. I mean, that's 4 members of ideally your starting rotation who are not here anymore. They're not playing right now. At least for the time being, that's the case. That'll impact any pitching staff, any team, and ruin your chances for a playoff. So it's not a lot to be ashamed of. I think the offense was good enough if the pitching staff was there, which we all know that the Braves have always been built around pitching, and right now they're not. Right now they are basically trying to stay above water, and that has been the goal, is to stay above water and keep yourself in striking distance. And again, being that we are 15 games back of first place, I don't think the Braves are in striking distance, really, no matter what they did at the trade deadline. Because think about it. Let's say the Braves go balls out at the trade deadline and sign a couple of bats, sign a couple of pitchers, or trade for a couple of pitchers, I should say, and they just go all out and get it. You have to get these guys in, then you have to get them to gel and work. And, oh, by the way, you have 40 games to make up a 15-game, lead that the Mets currently have, right? And the Phillies are right there in the race with them. Right now, it's just not looking as if the Braves are going to be able to do that. That's my opinion. And look, over the past few years, I have never doubted Alex Anthopoulos. I have never, I'm probably the most optimistic Braves YouTuber out there. It's just, I don't get on here and get angry and all of that. But I am telling you that right now the Braves are just not in striking distance. I think that's abundantly clear. Now, a lot of people have said, well, the Braves just need to sell. They need to go out and trade Acuna. They need to go out and trade Sean Murphy, Michael Harris, Ozzie Albies, all their guys. Even Matt Olson and Riley, I've heard. Which, if there's 2 guys that I wouldn't touch, it would be Matt Olson and Austin Riley. But a lot of people are saying basically trade off anybody that's worth anything and see what you can get in return, and let's rebuild like we did back in 2013. Let's go ahead and take what we've gotten, this 1 World Series and 6 division titles, and move on and start a new era of the Braves in 5 years. I've heard that argument. I disagree wholeheartedly. I think we are at the intermission of this championship window, and I do think that window is still alive beyond 2025. I think right now they're going to take a beat. They're going to take a pause. They're going to look around, and they're going to realize that they still have a lot of talent. They still have the ability to win if they can get the right pieces around that talent, which I think is very possible, because I don't think they're that many moves away, but I do think they are a good bit financially away. And I don't think it's going to be the easiest fix, but I don't think they're going to give up the assets that they have, and frankly, the assets that they have at a really affordable rate, which does make them valuable in a trade scenario. The pieces that I think will move will be likely the ones that aren't super influential to the culture of the team or are on expiring contracts, which the biggest one, no doubt, is Marcel Ozuna. Ozuna, of course, has had his ups and downs in a Braves uniform on and off the field. But he's been a really good DH for the Braves. Arguably the best in baseball for stretches at a time. He carried the team in large part, or in a lot of ways in 2020. He was an absolute monster in 2020. Almost hit for the Triple Crown, got MVP votes, was great there. 2021, we know what happened. 2022 was rough, but 23, he came out again and was great. 24, he was solid. And really in 2025, for the first few months of the season, was the one thing that was consistent. And of course, he hasn't been playing much. He's been battling injuries this year. There's been a lot going on. But if you think a contender out there wouldn't want a bat like Marcel Ozuna, I think you're crazy. I don't think it'll be the Yankees. I don't think it'll be the Dodgers. But somebody out there could use somebody like Marcel Ozuna. And the reason is a contender can likely allow Marcel Ozuna to recuperate and use him in the proper way, as opposed to the Braves, who are basically needing any help they could get offensively there for a while, and they needed him to play. And so he suited up and played because that's who he is, and that's very admirable. Anytime I bring this up, I always get the people, well, Marcel Ozuna has to approve the trade. I think he will, because why wouldn't he want to go to a contender for a few months and have a chance at the dance? Why wouldn't he want that, right? Which if he doesn't, that's one thing. But he could really help the team by being traded this year, finishing out the year on a contender. Maybe, he goes and he becomes a World Series MVP, right? That's the gamble that Marcel Ozuna has, is he can stay with the Braves, who frankly, I don't believe have a shot right now. Their win percentage is .431. I mean, it's just not a good year right now. But I think Marcel Ozuna could be a really valuable asset to a contender. I do. And Ozuna tends to play well when the stakes are high. He does. He shows up at the big moments, and I think postseason he'd really shine. Now, all that said, that's one guy. I think a lot of your relievers could move. I think because that tends to be what gets traded, because they're movable pieces. They don't really, again, influence the culture of the team. I don't think you're going to see Chris Sale get moved. I saw that a few weeks ago. I think that's ridiculous. Reigning Cy Young Award winner was having a really good season until he got hurt. And you got another year with him in Atlanta. And again, the Braves are not giving up on the future, but they are alluding to the fact that this season is toast. That's my opinion. If you're looking at this as a business, this year you got to cut it as a loss, right? So they're looking to the future. Well, the future needs a starting rotation, and why would you not want Chris Sale in that starting rotation? So I don't think he'll move. I don't think any of the young pitchers, A.J. Smith-Shawver, Spencer Schwellenbach, number one, they're hurt. They're not really valuable to a contender. Reynaldo Lopez, same thing. I don't think a lot of your pitching is going to move outside of the pen. One piece that is interesting would be like a Grant Holmes, because I do think he could be of value to someone else, and he's really affordable, and he has years of control, and the Braves could replace him fairly easily. So I think that is a possibility, although I don't think it's likely, because I think the Braves really like what they got in Grant Holmes. I think they've used him incorrectly this year. I think he's really a bullpen piece, and as much as I like him in the starting rotation as a spot starter, the real value is having him in the pen.
It's a great day for a new Chevrolet from Glenn Smith in Opelika. Take to the road in a rugged new full-size Chevy Silverado with discounts up to $13,000 off MSRP. New 2026 Chevy Equinox with all-around versatility and affordable pricing. Now with discounts up to $4,000 off MSRP. People from all over the USA are coming to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Get ready to drive and get ready to smile.
Having him be able to come out for multiple innings and throw and basically cover the latter innings. The problem is we don't have any starters right now, so that's where we're at. And look, we entered the season knowing that too, so I think that was kind of a missed opportunity. I like Holmes in the bullpen, I always did, and I think he belongs there. That all said, he'll pitch where they tell him. That's according to him, because I've had that conversation with him. So all in all, I think the Braves have to recalibrate. Could they move one big piece? Sure. I've heard the speculation on Ozzy Albies. Is that possible? Again, sure, it's possible. He only has, he has a team option next year. I think they'll likely pick it up, and there's a lot of people out there I know that are going to go, you think they're going to pick it up? I saw Bowman tweeted a few weeks ago, that he wouldn't pick up the option if it were him, but I don't know who you're going to find with more upside, with more potential, with, frankly, the resume and the pedigree of Ozzy Albies for as affordable as you're going to have him on that team option. I just don't think he's out there. Whoever you're looking for, I don't think he's out there. We certainly don't really have it in the minors. Maybe Nacho Alvarez, but I don't think they're going to do that. I think they're likely going to pick up the option. If not, then he'll be traded. If they have no intention of picking up that option, he'll be traded. The one thing about Albies is he's been hurt. Of course, we know he had a broken foot. He had shoulder surgery, he had a broken wrist. Maybe next year he's fully healthy, but right now he's not playing like he's fully healthy. I don't know that that's what it is, but that's my assumption. Will the Braves move him? I don't know. They could, though. They very well could. I don't think it'll happen because I don't think you're going to be able to find someone as good for as affordable. Same reason I thought they would keep Orlando Arcia, which they did until they couldn't anymore, until the play was just that bad. And they wanted to move on from him, right? They had to make changes, so they did. But I think really Ozzy Albies, because he's a Braves guy, because he took that affordable deal, they'll likely pick up the team option. And he'll probably be okay with it because he's not coming off his best year. So he gets to sign next year, or he gets the team option next year and gets to play another year in a Braves uniform and get to prove himself, similar to the Donaldson deal, right? Come here, prove yourself for a year, at $15 million or whatever we paid Donaldson, and then you can sign for big bucks at free agency next year, which may happen. It wouldn't overly surprise me if Albies decided to go to free agency after next year if he hit 30 homers and had a 250-plus batting average and, that kind of thing. It's all possible. But I do think they'll pick it up next year. I don't think he'll be moved. I'd be shocked. One guy that's gotten some attention is Sean Murphy because a lot of people think he could get a serious return back. You may be right. I don't think they'll move on from him because I think they like that move, especially if they don't have Ozuna next year. They will likely want to put Murphy and Baldwin in the lineup together and have them, switch out as DH, which happened back in 2021 with d'Arnaud and Contreras. So we could see that again, which I don't mind, especially if you're losing Ozuna, which as of right now, contracts as they are, you are at the end of the year anyway. So that doesn't overly bother me. I don't think they're going to move Baldwin. Why would you? The dude's been great. Young talent, affordable talent. I mean, unless the return was astronomical, and it'd have to be, I don't think that happens. But what you want to see coming back, that's what's important. We've talked about all the guys that are out there on the Braves that could very well be moved, and they may or may not happen depending on what the offer is, right? That all said, if you are shopping, what do you want back? You want some MLB-ready pitchers. That's what you want. And they can be minor leaguers, but you want some guys who are ready to go. Because as I look to next year, the team is pretty much locked up. A lot of people, again, speculating on like Michael Harris. That's not happening. He's locked up too long a term. And he's affordable. He plays Gold Glove defense. I mean, he's really good defensively. That makes up for a lot of the offensive woes when they do occur. And remember, he is still young. He will improve. I don't think he's going anywhere. I'd be very shocked if he went anywhere. That all said, your lineup, for the most part, is locked up, right? Your outfield is Acuna, Harris, Profar. Your infield, Riley. Shortstop is a question, but I think that can be handled in the offseason. Second base, I think Ozzy's coming back. First, of course, is Olsen. Your catching duo set up with Murphy and Baldwin. So what's missing? Well, your pitching staff. And that's what I think they're going to have to address, right? Whether it's relievers, whether it's relievers with years of control, because right now they're missing that. Whether it's that or whether it's starting pitching, I think either one. You have to get pitchers back. And the Braves do have some guys that are pretty interesting. I've talked about a few of them. A few of them have come through Columbus, here in Columbus, where I've been able to see them firsthand, and I like a lot of the arms. J.R. Ritchie, of course, showed out in the Futures game. He's really good. Hayden Harris is a underrated reliever that I think could be really good on the Major League roster if he can do what he's done in the minor leagues. He's really found it this year, which is interesting. He was the other guy in the Futures game. He had a strikeout, and he could be very good in the future. That said, there's some guys in lower that are pretty good too. Ian Mejia is a name to keep an eye on. He's been really solid. I like his mix. He recently got called up to AAA, as did Blake Burkhalter, who went to Auburn. He learned under Tim Hudson. So a lot to be excited about in the minor leagues. There are diamonds in the rough. Of course, we know that the rankings for the Braves minor leagues are low because everybody's kind of funneled through the system now, either being traded away or sent to the major leagues, one or the other. But there are some diamonds in the rough. There are some guys that could very well impact the major league roster sooner rather than later, and it could be next year. But the real key to next year, the reason I think shortstop is going to be addressed, the bullpen will be addressed, and maybe your starting rotation. Everything else I think is going to stand pat. The reason I think they're going to be able to do it, number one, is because if they do indeed trade away some of these guys and they don't buy anybody, which all indications are that's the case, I think that they're definitely going to stay under that luxury tax. The luxury tax is going to reset, which is going to give Liberty Media and the Braves every right to go out and spend money, right? They're not going to go spend it crazy. They're not going to be New York or the Dodgers, but they're going to be able to go get their staple shortstop. And some of you out there, I know you're thinking Nacho Alvarez. And that might be the case. Maybe they can save some money and they can do it with Nacho. If that's the case, then they're going to go after pitchers. And they may go after both. I don't know. But that's the only question mark that I have offensively and in terms of shortstop. But beyond that, you still can go get pitchers, right? I'd love to go out and be able to spend some money on some relievers right now, because I don't know how many games we're leading in the 6th and the 7th, and it goes off the rails here lately. It's been rough. And this season has been rough all around pitching-wise. The bats have come to life here and there, especially with Acuna. But overall, the pitching staff has been exceptionally questionable, and I think that's got to be addressed. If you plan to have any success in 26, 27, 28, 29, you got to get some pitchers, and they got to do it sooner rather than later. And they tried to do it this past offseason. Of course, we know that they went after Jeff Hoffman. We know that, and he didn't pass the physical that they wanted him to, so they didn't do it, which is probably for the best. And I still think that's probably for the best, not because of anything to do with Jeff Hoffman, more to do with if he's not passing a physical, I don't know that I want to fool with that either. But they did try to go get somebody. They knew that was a target of concern. They probably were hoping they could make it to this point and be able to address that problem and shore it up at the trade deadline. Well, here we are, and the team is 15 games back. They've had a lot of injuries. Things haven't gone their way. We know that. Now I think you basically play the rest of the season and you move forward to the offseason with basically, all strains released, and you can spend money as you see fit without the punishment of the luxury tax. So if I had to guess, final predictions for this week, I definitely think Marcel Ozuna is getting moved. I don't think that's a controversial opinion, but, it may not happen. But I think if he doesn't get moved, there's a talk of an extension. I don't see that. I think he gets moved. That's where we're at. I just don't see a world where he doesn't get moved. He's been the guy all season where, as it's gotten worse and worse and worse, he's been the guy everybody's looking at going, where's he going to go? Is he going to go to the Padres? Is he going to go to – where is he going to go? Where does he fit? Where will he allow the Braves to send him? So there's a lot that could happen. But I think that is the most likely scenario. Anybody that is signed beyond this year, we heard Alex Anthopoulos say on 680, he said they're not getting moved. I'm going to take him at his word, and I'm going to believe it. And the reason is because it doesn't make sense to move on from those people, because I don't think that window is closed. I think that window is probably for the next 3 or 4 years at least. and possibly beyond that. But Acuna, of course, his contract ends in 29. So it's at least till then, in my book. The Braves can build around that. And if you can re-sign him, maybe it goes longer, but you got Olsen and Riley, even longer than that. So that, to me, is the window. And hopefully they're able to build around it. But I don't think anybody else gets moved. I think relievers could get moved. I think, your Pierce Johnsons, your Isel Iglesias, those guys, Aaron Bummer, any of those guys can get moved. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But other than that, unless it's just an outrageous return, unless it is you're getting 5 first-round picks or something like, and I say first-round picks, I don't mean the ability to pick. I mean you're getting 5 MLB-ready starting pitchers or just something outrageous that I might consider it, but I don't think Sean Murphy gets moved. I don't think Drake Baldwin gets moved. I don't think anything like that. I think Marcel Ozuna will get moved. Your relievers will get moved. It will be very minor moves. I don't think it's going to be anything outrageous. That said, if it was something outrageous, we wouldn't know until it happens. So that all said, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Please, of course, like the video if you've enjoyed this. Please do subscribe to the channel. We really would appreciate it. And, of course, again, hit that bell for notifications so that you know when we go live, all that good stuff. We certainly would appreciate it. And we would like to thank our sponsors, Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC in Opelika, Alabama. They have been a phenomenal sponsor over the past few years and, of course, have given us all the support that they could. And, of course, we're excited to have them on board. Again, if you need a vehicle, go check them out. Of course, you will leave there with a smile. That all said, guys, we really do appreciate you tuning in. And, again, thank you. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think is going to happen this week. With that all said, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time at On Deck.
Baseball fans, make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to this channel. As always, thank you for your support.